Hey everybody, this is Nicholas.
And I'm Lindsay Mead.
And you're listening to Too Bad Pagans Podcast.
Yay! We're kind of late this month. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys. We were kind of late last month, too.
That's our thing, but we're going to make sure we get one in every month.
Yes, hopefully. Very much so. Hopefully so. I was listening to The Wiggly and Way, that podcast earlier today, and they're like, yes! We had 2 shows in December. This is great for us because they haven't been podcasting as much as they used to be. And I was like, but it posted in like January. They haven't posted since, and February's almost done. Like, we're not the only ones.
That's awesome. Good shout out for Waggly and Way too.
The Wiggly and Way?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. Whatever.
Whatever it is.
Whatever.
It's
those Canadians.
It's such a funny show. I love it so much. Anyway, so
okay.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
It's so much fun to see you. Because we haven't really gotten to hang out since.
It's true. We haven't. Well, I think the last time we did a podcast was the last time we hung out.
I think so, which is sad. Life has been so busy.
Mm-hmm. Well, you work all the time, and
I do.
I procrastinate on writing all the time. So we're both busy.
That is
you know
your professional career. I know. Goodness gracious. So what have you been up to? Procrastinating on writing?
Yeah, just pretty much that, and work. You know, of course, doing the work thing. Yep, and doing the daily vlog, and then trying to be as steady on that as possible. And
your vlogs have been really good. I mean, they were already good, but they've been like like professional. Someone's getting paid to do this.
Thank you.
You know, recently.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I've been trying to. I always try to do a really good job with them when you get your videos. They're really, lazy, just like me talking throughout the day, and then others where I really go above and beyond. But I don't know. I just had enough material lately that I've been able to kind of mix things up a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's fun for me, so
it is.
It's been working out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good times.
Plus, I've been really busy. The more busy I am, the more stuff I have to film.
This is true.
So
and the more stuff you can fit in the episode.
Right. So. Yeah, all that good stuff.
Good times.
Yeah, and the Beast is coming along really well.
Awesome.
And I actually mentioned this a little bit. I think in the vanity card of today's vlog. It was you did watch it, but you didn't read the vanity card, did you?
No, I didn't. And I've been trying so hard to read the vanity card.
So basically, what I said was that I might have some interesting information about the Beast, possibly, and I'm saying I might because I have a tendency to get really excited about things and say that this is when it's going to be done or this is when things are going to happen, and then it totally blows up in my face. Those of you who have been following me for a long time know that this is true. I've set many dates. But because of Nick's help and because of Trisha Wolf's help, very good friend of mine, I think that I might be able to possibly set a release date for the end of March.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
Yes. At this point, I just don't see any reason why it wouldn't be done by then. Mm-hmm. However, what gives me pause is not necessarily that you and I can't get through it or me and Trish can't get through it. It's that I don't know how long it takes formatting to take because I have to hire someone to do all the formatting.
I have to then and the print version, right?
Yes, yep. And then I have to contact my design cover person.
To design the rest of the cover?
Yeah, she did the ebook, so the ebook is good to go, but she needs to make the extended cover for the physical copies. So I don't know how long that could take. I mean, she could have it done in a couple of days, or maybe she's really backed up and it could take her a couple of weeks. It's hard to say. And then there's I have to wait for the betas, and it took you forever to get through 4 pages to edit. So
I kept trying to go over them, and I didn't know if I was just reading it and getting caught up in the story, or if we had just been through these 4 chapters, because they haven't really changed too much since the first couple of chapters I read late last year.
Yeah.
When she first gave me the first 6 chapters. And so I don't know if it's just that we've been over this so much that there isn't that many mistakes, or if your writing has gotten better so that in your read-throughs of it, you're catching more of the, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know which one of the ones it is, but I haven't been finding very many errors.
Did you try reading it backwards?
I was going to do that today.
Oh, okay. Actually. Well, he might read it backwards and catch a lot more. That's a little trick that I was taught a long time ago.
We'll see.
But yeah, so those are the things that has me most concerned about how long it's going to take to have it finished. But if it's possible, I think that it would be the end of next month. And what I'm going to do is once I get through finishing the changes I'm making on it now, I'm going to send it to Trisha. She's going to read through it, okay the story. And then if she does okay it, and I don't have to do any more major rewrites, I'm going to ask her, because she's been published many times. So I'm going to ask her, and all the people that I'm using, she actually sent me to. She said they were the best, they are the most affordable, that sort of thing. I'm going to ask her if she thinks it's a reasonable expectation to set a release date for the end of next month. And if she says it is, then we're going to make it happen.
I'm so excited.
Yes. And the big thing about setting a release date is it's going to make it possible for people to pre-order the book. However, if I do that and then I don't release it on the day I say I'm going to release it, I'm then banned from Amazon for a year, which could be kind of a career killer.
Yes.
So that's why I'm tentative to say that it is definitely, going to be done.
And Trisha will know.
Yeah, I hope so. Anyway, so we'll see. I'm just saying. I'm just letting you guys know.
We're getting so close, and I'm excited.
Yes, just letting you guys know though that's what I'm thinking. That's a possibility. It could be very, very close, and then it's all about the beauty after that. And getting that done as fast as possible.
And what a curse that will be.
Yes. Good reference.
Thanks. The curse is the last spoken. If you guys were. Yeah. Anyway.
So what about you? What's been going on in your life?
I have been working a lot. I got a promotion near the end of last year at work, which has been stressing me out a lot.
Oh, that's not good.
No, but it has forced me to find different outlets for de-stressing, which is good. And different ways to deal with the excess energy in my life. So it's been really good. It's been good. It's just been more stressful.
Yeah. Well, I hope you get that figured out pretty soon.
Yeah, and it's not major. It's just like I come home at the end of the day and I just want to veg. Yeah. And I need to figure out how to curb, because I did it the last promotion I got. I had the same period where I was like, I just need to go home and not talk to anybody and just be by myself. And then that went away. I just need to figure out how to curb my...
Could it just be like an adjustment period?
Probably.
Once you get used to the extra crap you're doing at work, it won't be so difficult to, be amped when you get home.
I suppose. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know either.
I don't know. It'll be good, though.
Okay.
I'm excited to see where it goes.
So how is we talked about New Year's resolutions last month. We're in February, right?
We are.
So it would be last month. Yeah.
Yes.
So how are you doing with yours?
I'm doing all right.
All right? Doesn't sound terribly encouraging.
Not terribly encouraging. I've been really working on, because one of my goals was losing weight. I've been really working on my portion control. Because one thing I tend to do is just keep eating and eating. And to where I just feel really full. So I've been trying to eat to where I feel sustained instead of full. And I think that's been helping me lose a little bit of weight. Yeah. And other than that, I've really been working on keeping up with my blog, which has been another having to work on thing because it's not coming as easily as it used to. I have plenty to write about. It's just going down and writing about stuff. Yeah. And then the book that I've been working on, I've been thinking a lot about. But as you know, thinking a lot about something and doing a lot about something, completely different.
Yes.
Completely different object entirely.
Yes.
But I'm at a point in my book where I was very mentally blocked. And it's a scene where one character is doing, in simplest forms, where one character is doing a tarot reading for, it's not tarot exactly, but it's a card reading for the main character in the book. And so in the past couple of days, I've been getting out my tarot deck and looking at the cards, and because I'm not going to use the tarot deck exactly, but I've been trying to do some reading and trying to feel the cards to try and get a good, because I know where I want the scene to go, but I don't want to misrepresent for, reading the cards.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out, and what I really probably should do is just skip past the scene and keep writing beyond.
Yes, that's exactly what you should do.
But
it's very easy when you're writing a book to get caught on the technical stuff, especially in your first draft. When you just should do it exactly that, just like put it aside, know that that's what happens, but put it aside and then move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I'm writing a scene that has a character that I don't have a name for, I just write the word blank. Yeah. Because I could get stuck spending, an hour on a word or a name site, going through baby names, trying to find the right name, and then completely zap all the motivation I had for writing that chapter. Exactly, yeah.
But I've written this entire book from beginning to end, with no jumping around. So I feel like I want to keep doing the same.
So is the book, do you mean beginning to your current place? Or do you actually mean you finished it?
No, like beginning to current place.
Okay.
Like chronologically, so.
Well, I don't know. I can honestly say that I can't do that because I've tried that. And anytime, like I tried it with The Beast, I tried it with other books, where I would write in chronological order and everything would be going great, and I'd find myself getting stalled out, and then having to jump to other scenes I know I'm going to writing those. And then, as you know, once I finished the book and then had to go back, I ended up cutting out 10,000 words from the first half of the book because I just got stuck on writing everything in order, and I was writing just chapters that didn't need to be in there.
And that's so going to happen to me.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. That's the right way to do it. But I feel like I want to just finish it the same way that I started. Just this one.
You're just being stubborn.
Oh, I'm so stubborn. But I agree with you. The next book I think I'll be more okay with jumping around. But I have to finish this one first.
All right. Okay.
So I might have to take your advice and just wait that way anyway.
Well, do whatever you want to do because, it's not like you're on a timetable or anything like that.
No, I don't. And it's not something that I necessarily even want to publish. So,
yeah.
We'll see when I go back and read through it. I know I just got a laptop a couple of weeks ago, and that's been really helping me. But I opened my book on my laptop, and I was like, holy cow, look at all the spelling mistakes. So it's going to take a couple of days. Because I was writing on this little, on my tablet with a Bluetooth keyboard.
Yeah.
And it didn't do any spell check.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And writing on the Bluetooth keyboard was not the easiest thing, so there's a lot of stuff that I need to go back and fix. But other than that, my goals are going pretty well.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How about your goals?
Mine, well, I guess I would say so-so. It's not, with the weight loss thing, obviously that was a big one I talked about last time. On the plus side, I did the 21-day habit break. So, and that was like, for those of you who don't know, don't watch my vlog, that's basically you have to pick a habit that you either want to make or break, and then do it 21 times for 21 days. So in my case, I had a real bad habit of fast food. I had fast food like several days a week, and it was like that for years, and I could not kick the habit. And then I heard about this 21 times your 21-day rule, came up with that idea, did it with the people on my vlog. Everybody picked their own things, and I had to go 21 days without having any fast food whatsoever, and I actually managed to do it.
Yeah, I was impressed.
It was hell. It was not easy. I went through withdrawals, mood swings, and hot flashes and headaches, and it was just, I was miserable in the very beginning. And then it got easier, and I'm still something I struggle with. I still, at least once a week, I think about, maybe I could go get some this time. It's been a while, maybe I could. And fortunately, I haven't yet. And I plan to keep sticking with that, because I'm afraid I'll open up a door and just walk right through it and end up back right where I was. And I've managed to lose, I would say, maybe 5 pounds since cutting the fast food. And I'm really disappointed that I haven't lost more.
Yeah.
Because, you always hear about the people who, they cut out the fast food and they start just melting like butter.
Yeah.
And then, or they cut out pop, and the same thing. And I don't drink any pop, because the only pop I ever had was with the fast food, and I cut out pop and fast food, basically. And I've lost only 5 pounds. And then I tried doing the 21-day habit break or habit challenge, but with exercising for 21 days. And I did it like 5 days, and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I just can't.
It was so miserable. And it was a different kind of miserable. Like I stopped, like the pain was in the first couple of days, but then after that, I'm like, I started having like flu-like symptoms. I wasn't feeling good. I think I was overtaxing myself.
Yeah.
And I did not want to push through it.
Yeah.
And I just like, to heck with it, basically.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, since, you know, I need to exercise at least a couple of times a week, and I haven't done that. So I need to find a way to make time for that. And I want to at least do some yoga or something.
Because yoga really, the vlog where you first did yoga, you were like, I feel so good.
Yeah, I was so happy after finishing my first session of yoga. Whereas the cardio and stuff, it just kind of kicked my ass. And that's really all it did. So I don't know. It's like I'm definitely making strides, but I'm not losing weight as fast as I would like to be losing weight. And that, I think, has me more discouraged than anything.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking now more than ever. A while ago, I had mentioned wanting to do, well, I think I mentioned wanting to do a banishing spell.
Yes.
And then I never did that. Well, the banishing spell was for the fast food. Well, now I've kicked it on my own. But I do have a spell for weight loss that I've been wanting to. I have all the ingredients and everything planned out, and I just haven't done it. So now I think more than ever, that might be, I need some sort of divine intervention to step in, some extra energy or something to help me out. And then the book, you guys know, that's going along really well, really happy with that. And other than that, the only thing that I didn't mention that I wanted to was that it's kind of my long shot New Year's resolution is that I would like to learn how to play the violin. My grandmother bought me a violin, or not my grandmother, my mother bought me a violin a couple years back. Yeah. And I tried to teach myself and had a lot of bad luck with strings breaking, and that's really hard to figure out on your own, and I'm afraid I'm going to break the thing. And so on the long shots, I'd like to find a place where I can get lessons, afford those lessons, and then go in and learn how to play the violin. Awesome. It would. I've always wanted to play the violin. It would be so much fun. Just to be able to, like, and I don't even want to be classically trained. I don't want to be anything like that, but I would love to be able to just pull out my violin, stick it on my shoulder, and then just start fiddling away and make some beautiful music. That would be really great.
That would be so much fun. I miss having a piano.
I used to have a piano?
Yeah, I used to have an organ. I used to go, because my father was a pastor, I used to go to the church and play songs that I've written, and I absolutely loved it because they had this not giant, but they had a full grand piano.
Right.
And I used to love playing on that and writing my own stuff.
So you can get yourself a keyboard or something and like bone up on that, and then I can learn to play the violin, and we can be like the Two Bad Pagans band.
And we'll make our own intro music for the show.
That would be kind of awesome.
That would be kind of awesome.
You heard it here, guys.
You heard it here first. Just give us time.
So we do have a comment on the live stream, and I'd like to read that real quick. It's from Spaking B. Arthur. He asks, do you choose your character names for their meaning? And the answer to that is yes and no. I was telling you yesterday that there are a lot of Easter eggs in my story. A lot of little things I sneak in there that I know no one's going to catch, but if someone does catch, it's going to be a fun fact, you know? Yeah. A lot of the names, obviously my main character's name is Belle, and that's, you know, Belle means beauty in French. That wasn't my choice. Yeah. It just kind of comes with the territory since it's a fairy tale retelling. And that's also, it's not a copyrighted name, so I could use that without having to worry about people coming after me.
Yeah, because Disney would totally go after you.
Yes. But yeah, some names, like there's a character, his name is Jean Legrand, and his first name, I probably picked it because, okay, that could fit this character, even the meaning, I don't know. I like the way it sounded, but his last name, Legrand, means the big, and he's a very big guy. He's like a monster. He's huge. Yeah. So, you know, I picked that, and then there's Gaston, his last name, I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong because it's French, but it's like Chevalier, which is French for knight. And so he's a very like a knightly sort of character. So sometimes yes, but I don't also let myself get completely hung up on that. Sometimes I'll see a meaning and I'm like, oh my God, that meaning would be perfect, but I don't like the way it sounds. I can't see it with the character. There's a character for another series that I'm kind of working on in my head. I said to Nick yesterday, I think I want to call her Charlotte, and for short, her name would be Char. And I don't even know what Charlotte means or where it comes from. I don't know anything like that, but I like that Char was kind of an edgy fighter kind of sound, and this character is a very edgy kind of character. So
and kind of fallen from grace and femininity in a way.
Right.
In the story, as you've told it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if that will be her official name.
But it's a nice working.
Yeah, we'll see. Because, you know, you go back and forth on these things. I'm not really, I like it, but then I don't know if I like it. So
yeah,
it might all of a sudden just click for me one day. But so yeah, to answer your question, sometimes yes, sometimes no, and it's always kind of in between. And
for me, it's kind of the same. I have a character whose last name is Endor, and she's a spiritual person in my book. She doesn't say if she's a witch or whatever, but she does the reading, the tarot reading. And I got her name because I've always been really inspired by the tale of the Witch of Endor in the Bible. Yeah. So I just really appreciated it. So I wanted to put it in my book, and I did. Right. So there's a little Easter egg. Mm-hmm. I have a side character. I can't tell you who it is because if you go and you figure it out, then it'll spoil future books. Yeah. But it's kind of like in Star Wars, Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. Vader is actually German for the father. Mm-hmm. So if you know German, then you will automatically know that Darth Vader is the father. Yeah. It's kind of like that sort of scenario with one of my side characters. Their name is a specific reference to who they will turn out to be later in the book. And yeah. Yeah, that happens to me in some of my books. Yeah. It's good stuff. Yeah. So yeah, but this podcast really isn't about just writing. No. Even though we've been talking about it for quite a while now. I know. Well, talking about resolutions and things. Yes. Important. But actually, it is a pagan podcast. It is. And one thing that we wanted to talk about today is this article that I came across. Mm-hmm. And it's actually about, do you have it pulled up? I do. Okay, good. It's actually about a Catholic priest who died, and he was deceased for, I think, like 48 minutes or something. 48 minutes. And when he came back, he said that he met God, and God is a woman. And I read the article. I thought it was really quite something. Mm-hmm. It really made my heart warm and fuzzy and all that good stuff. So I said, we should talk about this today. Right. Do you want me to read it? Yeah, please, because you're a better reader than I am. Okay. From Boston. The article was published February 4th of this year, 2015. A Catholic priest from Massachusetts was officially dead for more than 48 minutes before medics were able to miraculously restart his heart. During that time, Father John Michael O'Neill claims that he went to heaven and met God, which he described as a warm and comforting motherly figure. The 71-year-old cleric was rushed to the hospital on January 29th after a major heart attack, but was declared clinically dead soon after his arrival. With the aid of high-tech machine called the Lucas II that kept his blood flowing to his brain, doctors at a Massachusetts General Hospital managed to unblock vital arteries and return his heart to a normal rhythm. The doctors were afraid that he would have suffered some brain damage from the incident, but he woke up less than 48 hours later and seems to have perfectly recovered. The elderly man claims that he has a clear and vivid memories of what has happened to him while he was dead. He describes a strange out-of-body experience, this is weirdly written, experiencing an intense feeling of unconditional love and acceptance, as well as being surrounded by an overwhelming light. He claims at that point in his experience, he went to heaven and encountered God, which he describes as a feminine, mother-like being of light. And he says, her presence was both overwhelming and comforting, states the Catholic priest. She had a soft and soothing voice, and her presence was reassuring as a mother's embrace. The fact that God is a holy mother instead of a holy father doesn't disturb me. She's everything I hoped she would be, and even more. The declarations of the cleric caused quite a stir in the Catholic clergy of the Archdiocese. That's how you pronounce it, right? Yes. I'm not Catholic, so I don't know. Of the last few days, causing the Archbishop to summon a press conference and try and calm the rumors. Despite the disapproval of his superiors, Father O'Neill says that he will continue dedicating his life to God and spread the word of the Holy Mother. I wish to continue preaching, says the elderly cleric. I would like to share my new knowledge of my Mother, the Son, and the Holy Ghost with all Catholics and even all Christians. God is great and almighty despite being a woman. The Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Boston has not confirmed, however, if they will allow Father O'Neill to resume preaching in his former parish in South Boston. Interesting. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Very
I feel like the way he's talking about her, like he has completely accepted that it's a woman.
Yeah.
He's like a hop, skip, and a jump away from being a pagan at this point, I think.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
And it just, I don't know, when I read that, it made me feel just so warm and fuzzy and like referring to her as the Holy Mother. And
yeah,
it made me very happy.
And especially because you have a lot of Catholic elements in your spiritual practice. I can see how it would really.
Yeah, and I think I was actually thinking about that because you saw in my latest vlog that my mother had found this little itty bitty statue. It's like the size of a thumb. That it's like a statue of Mary, and Mary is my symbol of the goddess. And when I have a statue of Mary holding a baby, that's the goddess holding the god at a certain time of the year. So yeah, when I was reading that article, I actually thought of that tiny statue and Mary and warm fuzzy feelings and lovely stuff.
Yeah. And when I read it, I'm like, because I had saved reading the article until now so I can get my fresh perspective of the article. I think it's really interesting. I really don't think the Catholic Church will be cool with him continue preaching.
I don't know. I feel like they're going to have, like, they're probably just going to ignore it, most likely. Because I don't think it's going to be this big news story. No. And with the current Pope, he's so progressive. I can't imagine he would just condemn this priest.
I don't think, if it got up to Pope, I don't think so. But I think the church in America is very...
They might not be very happy if he goes to church and he starts referring to God as a woman. That's where I think the problem would lie.
Yeah.
Maybe not among his congregation, but if word spread, it could, rise the ranks and become a problem.
And I don't think the Pope would have a problem with it, but there are so many patriarchal, I can talk, members of the Catholic Church.
The bishops.
The bishops.
The bishops. The bishop's actually an evil character in my story. Because life has proven that that's the way it works.
It's always the bishops.
It's always the bishops.
But, I think because the Pope has pretty much said as much as, well, my God's the same one as I think, and it's pretty much the same as the Christian God or the, like the Baptist Christian.
Right.
God. And
we're all one and the same.
Yeah. Buddhist faith, we're all searching for the same thing.
And I would agree with that sentiment. So
yeah, so I don't think he would necessarily have a problem with it. I think it's all the people in the Catholic Church that are so tradition oriented and so ritual oriented, and this is the way it is,
Yeah, but how do you feel about it personally? Like, does it feel like I felt almost a sense of validation? Listen to what I'm saying. Don't read the comments.
Okay. I'm listening to what you're saying.
I can see his eyes. He's reading the comments coming in from Spaking the Arthur.
I can do both.
Which I'm not ignoring. I'm just waiting for a chance to talk about them.
I can do both.
But does it, I felt like a sense of validation of sorts. Yeah. I mean, obviously there have been tons of, what do you call them, near-death experiences that don't validate my belief system. But in this one, I actually felt like in some way, especially coming from someone who is Catholic and already predestined isn't exactly the word, but it's the closest I can think of. Predesigned, whatever, to predisposed, that's the word I'm looking for, to see a certain afterlife. Like, you remember that story, I can't remember the name of it, Jesus is Real, I think. About the little boy. It's huge at Barnes & Noble. It's the book with the yellow cover.
Oh, Heaven is for Real.
Yes.
Yes.
You're looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, no.
Because I hate that book so much.
It's a story about this little boy who dies, and then when he came back to life, he had apparently seen Jesus, and Jesus had blood on his hands and all these things. And it's supposed to be this big, oh my God, heaven is for real type story, but he's the son of a Christian priest or Christian pastor, and the pastor actually wrote the book.
I was like, didn't the kid say that he made all of it up?
I don't know about that. But either way, being the son of a priest is gonna you're getting all these images and things placed into your mind, so you're obviously going to, default to that. And then given that if he woke up and said God is a woman, I don't think his pastor father is going to write that in a book.
No. And I think that's why this story is so interesting, because the priest wouldn't automatically go. Like, he's what, 71?
Yeah.
He's come from his entire life of God is a man, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, God forced a virgin birth on Mary. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't think that he would just automatically say God is a woman.
Right. And he seemed like this is the way it is and I accept it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like it made me feel good.
I can understand that.
I thought it was a lovely story.
It is. Going back for a second, I'm not saying the Pope is great. I'm just saying.
Are you commenting because of what Spanking B. Arthur
said? Yes.
Well, let me read what he said. Spanking B. Arthur, or Matt, he said, not that progressive. He just said trans people were like nuclear bombs to Christian society.
Yes.
I didn't know that. But I still like the guy. I mean, I don't agree with that statement, but I still like the Pope. I think he seems like a swell guy.
Compared to other popes.
Yes. I never heard that before, so I don't know.
He has said some stuff against it. I mean, at first he was very pro-gay community, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But he has said some stuff recently that has made me not so okay with him. Mm-hmm. But as far as the spiritual aspect of the church that he's been leading, I think he's very progressive and has said a lot of interesting things.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's a step in the right direction, I think.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Pope. I can't ask anything of him. But if I could.
Right. I was just sitting here thinking, we're talking a lot about Catholicism for a pagan podcast.
That's part of the perspective, I think.
I hope so. I guess. I don't know with the article and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's really interesting from a pagan perspective because I'm like, yeah, of course. I mean, I don't think God is all woman either.
No.
I think there's a duality. But I think it's very fascinating that someone with that much ingrained idea would even allow himself to be okay with God as a woman. Because in my Baptist upbringing, that would have rocked my world. I would have been so not okay with that.
Right. And then for him to admit it.
Yeah.
And be like, it's what it is.
It is what it is. Mm-hmm. And to publicly say it. I just think it's fascinating.
And that makes me wonder about the presence that he met must have been really something.
Yeah.
I mean, it must have moved him in a certain way that just made it screw you all. This is how I feel.
Yeah, this is how I feel. And I agree. I think,
I'm just saying I'd like to meet this old priest and ask him lots and lots of questions about it.
Well, it sounds like it wasn't all that. A lot of people that have near-death experiences and come back from heaven have a lot of, different... I'm not looking at the screen, Lindsay. Have a lot of vivid examples. I'm trying to think of the word vivid.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't... You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have a... He's not saying, I saw her and she was a woman. He was just saying, I was surrounded by a being of light that was very motherly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It wasn't like, I went to heaven and I saw Paul and I saw this person and,
Right.
I don't know. For some reason, I seem to believe this story more since it doesn't have so many details.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I actually would agree with that. When I worked at Family Christian, and I know, but when I worked at Family Christian, there was a book that was supposed to have been a near-death experience, but with a guy who went to hell. Mm-hmm. And I was extremely skeptical of it because he was so incredibly detailed about it. Yeah. Whereas most of them, they're just they talk about the light and a warm being that makes them feel good and they feel safe and they feel connected to their family and all this soft stuff. Mm-hmm. And whereas he was just in detail, this is what it looked like, this is what he saw, this is what happened. Mm-hmm. And that made me think this guy's been reading too much of the Inferno and Dante and stuff like that. And then just basically, which is kind of ironic.
Because we have Paradise Lost holding up the book over there.
That probably didn't make any sense to anybody listening.
No.
We have a camera for the live stream for those of you listening, and the camera has to be propped up on a book, and it's actually propped up on Paradise Lost.
Because it's my heaviest book.
Mm-hmm. Which I made fun of when he picked it, considering what our topics were going to be.
Yeah. And Matt, I'm not. Okay.
What? What did he say?
He says I am, and I think that's in reference to me saying I'm not looking at the computer. And then he's also
you are, dude. You can totally see you are. And every time you pause in what you're saying, you're looking at the computer. Like
I'm actually looking at my boots over there.
Oh, sure.
Just past the computer.
Okay.
Okay. So sorry guys, we're getting used to this live stream thing. So
it's awesome. It's fun.
It's so much fun, and we hope that you guys that are listening enjoy it as well, and not just the people that are interacting with us or watching us on YouTube.
I actually think we're doing a really good job of mixing the two.
I think so.
You know, I don't think that people listening are missing out on anything.
No, I don't think so. Good times.
So do you want to move on to listener mail?
We can. Which one do you want to do first? Do you want to? Matt sent us something. Do you want to talk about that really quick?
Well, since Matt's watching, we can go ahead and start with his.
Sure. He sent on Facebook a quick message to me because last episode we had talked about the ethics of using vanity spells.
Which turned out to be a rather popular topic.
Yes, we got a lot of listener mail about this. And Matt says, spell energy taking from other people energy, that is hella ridiculous. Energy consumes energy and creates more energy. Plants grow from the energy of a seed. Plants in Africa don't disappear to grow in Belize. Which I
agree with. Yes.
Yes. So,
do you have the other, because there was the other mail that talked about the same thing.
Yep, Tim?
Yes, Tim.
I do. Do you want me to read his email?
Yeah. Especially the last part of it.
Okay.
Which I thought took a different perspective on it, but was also very well written.
Okay. I'm going to cut out some of the introduction where he says hi and stuff. We really appreciate that part, but he says, on the matter of not using magic for vanity spells because of the poor starving kids in Africa, I have to call BS pretty hardcore, which I love. That's my commentary. It's literally no different from when your parents tell you the same thing to get you to eat your dinner. The fact is, unless they pack up their leftovers in Tupperware and overnight them to Zimbabwe, your completion or lack thereof of dinner doesn't make a single bit of difference. Either the food gets eaten or thrown away. Simple as that. Energy is absolutely the same thing. The problem I have with the mentioned view of energy and spell work is that it assumes that energy is static and dead. They warn us not to use up or waste energy on ignoble, I think is how you pronounce this word. I read it all the time and I use it all the time, but I never have had to pronounce it once because, yes, anyway. As if the world was a giant energy bank account. Here's the deal. That's bullshit. Every energy is constantly moving, flowing, changing, and recycling. It cannot be consumed or destroyed. Even physicists know that, only redirected. It runs like a river, and the way you use a cup of water from that river does not change the flow, direction, or amount of water in it. The simple fact is that the energy will flow, whether or not you tap into it and take advantage of it or not. You spend energy watching TV, crying, working, even sleeping. Magic is only a willful direction of what already happens automatically. Sure, there are better ways to focus your intent and energy than vanity spells. You can choose to heal, pray for peace, bring blessings to the less fortunate, but they aren't morally wrong. Excuse me for a second. And who's to say that they can't be incredibly powerful examples of magic? A vanity spell could make a battered wife feel beautiful and powerful enough to escape a bad situation. A little luck spell could help lift a homeless man into getting a job and new opportunities. Hell, even a cautious love spell could help a young transgender woman feel wanted and important. The point isn't worrying about hypothetical children in Africa, whom you aren't helping anyway, but trying to heal the world little by little in your corner of the world, which I think is an excellent way of putting it. Mm-hmm. And it's not always grand and sparkly as we imagine. Those witches who insist on legalistic magic use, I'm sure mean well, but are incredibly short-sighted. And then he talks about another topic that we asked for input on. He says, as far as different types of pagans, Those who complain about the world's intolerance of us but turn around and judge other people's practices are no better than the people they protest. And when you're building a city, don't you plan for many little roads and avenues, not just 3 main paths? Just because someone is on a side street or an intersecting avenue doesn't not mean that they aren't on the right road to where they're going. And then he says a little bit more, and he thanks us for putting our work out there.
And thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim. We really appreciate it. Because this is a very thought out email.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love that, and I said this to you beforehand, that we have come up with topics that are apparently inspiring discussion.
Yes.
And that people feel that are inspired enough to actually make an email.
Yeah.
Write an email and send it to us. That takes several steps. It's not like a quick and easy thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exciting. I like that.
Yeah, because I think Tim, if I remember right, he reads it, or he listens, he doesn't read us, he listens to us at work. So for him to listen to us at work and then take the time, because I think he mentions in the email that he wrote it out on his phone, to write out something on your phone about just 2 people that you're listening to in the middle of the workday. I think that's incredible.
That's awesome. And thank you very much, Tim.
We appreciate it so much.
And then we had one more, email too.
We did.
That actually brought up some things that he wanted us to discuss.
This is true. All right. This is from, I'm going to try and pronounce your name. I listened to a bit of your, because the person mentions that he has a podcast. And I listened to a bit of your podcast, and I've enjoyed it so far, and I am going to try and pronounce your name as you pronounce it. I think it's Kel. I had it in my brain. Kveldria? Kveldria, I think.
Works for me.
I had it in my brain not 2 seconds ago, and then it just boop, gone.
It's gone.
Okay. He says, I just got done listening to your first episode, and thought he had several things he wanted to comment on. Says, I'll limit myself to 2. The first I wanted to mention was a comment made in passing by Lindsay. She said, I'm paraphrasing, that I was nervous to ask you, Nicholas, about your thoughts on deity, because it seems almost taboo to ask about such things in paganism. Not the actual text, you get the idea. He says, I really hate that newer and physically younger pagans have gotten this message. It bothers me so much. Let me explain. I'm not an old man, perhaps physically, but in pagan terms, very much so. I became a pagan, though I didn't know the term at the time, in 1989 when I was 21. In those old days before the internet, when you met another pagan of any strip or variety, you would spend literally the first few hours of your relationship exactly those questions of each other. What do you think the afterlife is like if you believe in it? What is your concept of deity? Do you use tools? And so on and so on. Firstly, when we were learning from each other so much more than books at the time, there were, I think I misread something. There were, in fact, so few to read before the 1990s New Age occult explosion. Second, the idea of community fellowship with another whose beliefs loosely resembled yours was fantastic. I no longer attend pagan festivals, but when I did, I would ask anyone who would talk to me, what's your story? What do you believe in and why? It was almost normal for pagans to share this openly for a long time, but somewhere around the mid to late 1990s, people became more guarded about their beliefs. In some cases, it was clearly a response to a lot of old pagans dogging out the newer, younger ones. I saw this happen myself on many occasions, and the internet only made this kind of meanness worse. When out meeting other pagans, I still ask these questions, and not everyone is open to answering. But I'm really interested in what people think, believe, do in their faith. You two are friends, and you have a level of intimacy built up already. I think it would help a lot of newer, younger folks if you were to address this issue and be open with each other, as you have already on the show. Talk about why people feel it is so taboo to discuss these things. Just my 2 cents. I wanted to mention quickly one more thing. I know the name of the show is Tongue in Cheek, and you both mention how you don't do much in your faith. Let me put forward the idea that faith, the living embodiment of belief, is not about doing anything as much as it is about thinking through the prism of your beliefs. Doing a ritual will not make you pagan. Being something is having that idea, belief, value, worldview be part of you internally and organically. Which is not to say that faith shouldn't be put into practice, of course. Believing in the positive does not, or does, sorry guys, I'm getting a little tongue-tied. Believing in positive thought does no good without exercising, my brain wasn't having, no good without exercising positive thoughts. My main point is that a lot of people will tell you your actions speak loudest in most areas of life. I agree. Faith, however, occupies a unique position in one's life. You may have a deep faith that no one ever sees, and yet it is still as full as the next person's. A person does not deepen their faith through expressing it in the world true, but in my experience, ritual is not the enduring expression people think it is. Until my wife and I started a new coven last fall, we hadn't done a ritual in several years. Our faith is in our minds, hearts, and actions every day. That's all I'm trying to say, I guess. Anyway, just some food for thought. And if you want to listen to his show, he has a show called Pagan Spirituality Today. He says that he'll be doing some more episodes in the coming months, but he's exceeded his allowed bandwidth on Podbean, so he has to upgrade before posting new stuff.
Cool beans.
Cool beans.
Cool beans.
As a side note, we use Libsyn because you can upload a certain amount monthly without having to upgrade your account, and then they'll just archive it.
Cool beans.
Cool beans.
That should be the title of today's podcast.
Cool beans.
Cool beans.
All right.
You know, I guess we could be a little more spot on, like, priest sees woman God or something like that. A little bit more clickbaity.
Or listener mail extravaganza. Well, that's more clickbaity. I was going to say listener mail extravaganza or something.
Yeah, so it's interesting that he brought up the first point about how it's taboo to talk about faith or to be personal about faith and that sort of thing. And that got me thinking about where I learned that. And I said to you, I'm pretty certain I read that in a book. Like when I first started out, I think it might have actually been a coven book. But I haven't read in a really long time. It was the first Wicca book that I'd ever read. And I think it actually said, like, it's considered taboo to ask someone what they believe in. Mm-hmm. Like, you're just not supposed to. If they want to offer it, they can, but it's personal, and you're not supposed to put it out there.
Yeah, and I think we've just gotten so politically correct in the world.
Oh, yes.
I think part of it is not wanting to offend anybody. And for me, because I was always taught that, like, covens and what do I want to say? Like Gardnerian witchcraft.
Okay. Traditions?
Traditions. That's the exact word. Covens and traditions are very close guarded with their secrets. Uh-huh. And so knowing someone of a coven, I ask them some questions, but I don't go into as much detail because I just don't want to put them in a situation where they'll have to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not that anything I'd ask would open any coven secrets, but.
Do you think we just like our secrets?
I think people love their secrets.
Mm-hmm. They just feel special, like we have some sort of second life or something.
I think that's one reason why paganism boomed really big in the 90s, because people could be part of this secret, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. I do know what you're saying.
I don't know.
I'm kind of the same way. But I'm a very private person though, so like I don't know if it would be any different had I not read that in a book, because I'm generally not. I'll ask you how you are, but if you seem sad about something, I probably won't ask you why you're. Well, you might, but a lot of people I probably wouldn't ask why are they sad, and I got something in my eye that's really bugging me. But
yeah, I'm very much the same way. I have a lot of respect for people and their beliefs, and I don't want to put them in a position where they're, I don't know, uncomfortable or something, you know? And it's gotten to be where talking about something, especially with alternative beliefs like paganism, it's kind of gotten to be uncomfortable in the mainstream to talk about it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
I wish I wish it wasn't that way, and I think it's cool that we're doing the show so we can talk about it and make it more comfortable. But I think that's why we're so nervous sometimes to talk about things, just because the world's really politically correct.
It is. It's a little too PC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm totally okay if people ask me, you know, what do you believe in? What's your faith? If they ask me about my pentacle on my finger, I don't have any problems saying what that is.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, I'll tell everybody right now, I am, you know, a Wiccan. Sometimes I'll just call myself a pagan because labels make me a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But technically, I am a Wiccan. I'm a Wiccan. I'm a Wiccan. I'm this new branch of paganism. We're wigging out all the time.
Yeah. You're on one of the little side streets of paganism.
That would be so bizarre.
You're on Winged Avenue.
But yes,
yes.
I am a Wiccan. I believe in a god and a goddess.
Mm-hmm.
And whether they are two separate deities or one, I don't really know. I think if you really force me to talk about it, I'd probably say I see them as it's one being
mm-hmm.
with many aspects, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're male, sometimes they're female. They
mm-hmm.
are everybody and everything. But I don't really put that much thought into it when I do my practices and stuff. I feel a feminine force, or I might picture the God
mm-hmm.
As he's described, and I feel safe in that and comfortable in that, and that's my personal belief. And I'm totally comfortable with other religions. This is something a lot of people have a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up Catholic, and I had a very good childhood. Whereas a lot of people, I think they were spurned by the church, something terrible happened,
yeah.
and it cast a very negative thing upon their life. Whereas for me, I just, you know, as I got older, my beliefs with the church didn't really align, my feelings didn't mesh, and I just kind of gradually faded away from the church. Nothing really negative or bad. And when I think of the church, I think of my grandparents, because I live across the street, and they go to church every weekend, and I think of warm fuzzies and hot water with lemons in it and things like that. You know?
And see, my experience is very different. I came to paganism because it was a safe respite from the harshness that was my Baptist upbringing. Because I grew up very, I don't want to say tortured, but that's almost what it was, by not measuring up to what I thought the standards were.
Mm-hmm.
And it really tore me up. And I was depressed for a very long time. And I didn't come to paganism. I came to that realization because that's how I think it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It allowed for a very much more, I viewed the world as a much more open place, and I opened up my mind to different possibilities that, you know, different religions weren't going to hell. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
with that, the god and the goddess just kind of appeared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just kind of...
Did it feel like a coming home for you?
Yeah, it was very much. And doing, you know, rituals with the turning of the year, or finding different pieces of different other practices that I feel connected with.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I don't know, it just feels natural, and like I'm coming home, instead of this, I'm never measuring up, I'm never, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
my journey into Wicca is so cliched. It's like, you know, that like they always make fun of like Wiccans as being it's a teenage girl with the iPod and things like that. I mean, like, that's really not far off for me. Like, because I had been exposed to witchcraft without even knowing that I was exposed to it.
Yeah.
And it was, oh my God, it's so cheesy. I was actually sitting on my bed, okay? This is after my life had fallen apart, and I had to move into a different town and move back in with my dad, and I was sitting on my bed, and Sabrina the Teenage Witch was on TV, and I'm watching it. Don't laugh too hard. And I'm watching, I'm thinking, like, you know, this has got to be, like, not the spelly, like, things come out your fingers and stuff like that. Not that, but just, I don't know, there was something about it where I actually thought, there has got to be something like this out there. This has to be a thing. And I got on my computer and I Googled witchcraft and I found Wicca. And I started reading things, and then I found some YouTube videos, people talk about it, and it was like, you know, like you could hear angels singing. It was like, oh, we're like there. And then I contacted a friend of mine from back home who was a much, much older man who was very eclectic, and we got to talking about this, and he invited me over to his house. He showed me the Wicca book, and that's when I realized that some of the things he'd been showing me over the years was already witchcraft. Like he recognized that in me and was already exposing me to that, and I just hadn't even realized it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I guess I don't know if I guess I would have gotten there anyway, not watching Sabrina, but that was definitely the catalyst that made me pull up Google and like, is this something that's out there?
Yeah. It totally reminds me of when I watched Charmed a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Because I was coming into paganism around the time that I started watching Charmed, and the two of them don't really connect with the other, but it just reminded me. I was like, oh, hey, yeah, I kind of had that where I was watching it in pop culture as I was experiencing it in my own life. Not that Charmed is, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Cracked me up. You just said, I was watching Sabrina, I was like, I had that moment watching Charmed.
I thought you were just laughing at me. I'm not alone.
No.
I'm not afraid to admit it. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a cliche. That's how that worked out. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it was just, I think, because I was reading a book called The Energy Boss.
Yeah.
And
cute title. Yeah,
well, it's about management at work and getting everyone on your bus and taking it in the right direction.
Oh, that's less cute.
It's Lindsay's disappointed.
Yeah, I was picturing like an old school bus with a heart and a hippie peace sign.
That's kind of what it is.
A flower on the cover.
That's kind of what it is. Well, I mean, anyway. But one of the rules of the bus that they talk about is that your life sends you signs for a reason. You will see signs, and it's good to pay attention to them. Yeah. You'll see the sign, and it takes someone to pay attention to what's going on in your life to get it in the right direction, which is very pagan-ish sort of.
I've always believed in signs.
Yeah. Anyway, and I think that's part of what Charmed was for me and Sabrina the Teenage Witch was for you, not necessarily, I think that, Phoebe is reading the future and, someone's stopping time and it's all this cool stuff, and I want to do that as much as this is a sign. I'm reading it, I'm paying attention to it in my life, and I'm going to, just move my life in that direction.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned, you called reading signs to be a pagan thing, and actually it's also a Catholic thing.
Oh.
The first time I actually, I think, learned about signs was actually a priest saying something like, you look lost, there are signs everywhere to help you find your way. Mm-hmm. And that, I've looked for signs my entire life, and that's something that hasn't changed even as I've progressed into paganism. I think that the divine is always there and always guiding and helping and all that stuff.
For sure.
So, before we end this vlog, the vlog. Okay,
what medium
I
are
do
we
that
on?
every day, all the time. No, the podcast and the live stream. I did want to read what Spanking B. Arthur's been saying, because he's been commenting a lot. And personally, I think you have a fanboy. Just judging by some of his comments here.
In all fairness, I have been Matt's fanboy for probably 7 or 8 years. So
it's reciprocated.
Yeah.
So some of the things he said, so this might be jumping back in our topics a little bit, but he said, I think many don't go into their beliefs with others for several reasons. One being that paganism and spells, etc., are a personal choice. Mm-hmm. And I would agree with that. Another reason is because Christian faiths are so freaked out about pagans that we don't want to deal with the stigma or possibly preaching and violence that may be the backlash.
Oh, yeah.
And that I would definitely agree with. You always see those people who put the pagan stickers and stuff on the back of their cars, which I think is seriously ballsy. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I want to do that, but I'm afraid I'll come out to my car and find the back window smashed in or something like that.
Oh, yeah, because we live in the middle of...
Right?
Yeah.
So, you can't say, but right?
Yeah.
He also goes on to say, I walked into a Christian church once wearing a pagan symbol necklace, and they looked at me like I was the devil.
Which is kind of funny because you worked at a Christian bookstore wearing the pentacle on your
I did. Well, technically, I turned it upside down. I turned my ring over.
But still, pretty ballsy.
And just the first day I had it up, just to see if anybody would notice. One person did notice, and it caused a kind of an interesting situation. But after that, I would just turn it over. And you're right, it was ballsy. If I ever waved or something, they got a big pentacle right in their face, you know. And then every now and then I do like a spell or something with some network and put the bracelet on, and things like that. Because it was, and that I guess goes along with the whole secrets thing.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am, a pagan, a Wiccan, a witch, working in a Christian bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked right up front when I got hired there, I said, is it going to be an issue that I'm not a Christian? I didn't say what I was, I just said I'm not a Christian. They said, no, we don't discuss theology here, which kind of made me evil.
Yeah, and I can see why. Because, well, seriously, there's so many different subcategories of Christian beliefs, and all of them are so offended if you get one point of their theology different than
which is probably why we don't discuss it.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah. So like I guess I went along with it. I wore the symbols and stuff beneath my clothing and turned the ring around, and in my head I'm kind of snickering sometimes at little comments, and I'd see little books and stuff. And,
all the time. And
like I'd get people who'd come in and they'd be looking for I want to say, I can't think of the statue. I'm blanking right now, but there is a certain saint. This is a Catholic thing. When you want to sell your house, you take this saint statue and you bury it in your front yard facing the house. And that's supposed to attract people to your house to sell your house.
Mm-hmm.
And people came in all the time looking for this statue, and I would, it's over here, and they wouldn't know how to use it, so I would tell them, this is how you use it, this is what you do after your house sells, and all this stuff. And the whole time I'm thinking, this is witchcraft.
Yeah.
You are performing a spell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying this, but that's what I'm thinking.
Well, and even people on the same topic, people say, bake bread at your house when you have people over. And I'm like, yes, you're trying to put an aroma in your house, but you're just as much like putting a spell on your house when you bake bread or make
cookies.
Yeah, bake cookies, make Cinnabons.
If you're going to go on a date, have the guy pick up your house and make cookies. Because then it makes him think of his mom, which somehow makes him more attractive to you, which...
I'm like, this is just as much of a spell as, because you're trying to rework the energy in your house.
Right. More motherly tone. Yeah. So, interesting.
Yes, I agree. And I think that's, and I mean, part of it is that, we say that we're not supposed to talk about personal spells because the energy toward that will, go out. Yes,
which I hate. Yes. I understand the concept behind it, but I'm like, as soon as I do a spell, I want to tell everybody I know.
Yeah, so...
Guess what I did today?
So guys, what do you think about that? Are we allowed to talk about the spells that we've done? If you think yes or no, feel free to send us an email at toobadpaganspodcast@gmail.com, because I would love to know.
Good transition. I like
that.
Thank you. That's a good topic for next time. I would love to hear everybody thinks on that.
Yeah.
Do you agree with the sentiment that talking about it could alter the energy of your spell? And whether you believe it or not, do you avoid doing it because that's what others believe?
Mm-hmm.
And then have you done a spell and then told someone else about it? And then if so, do you feel that it affected your spell in any way?
Yes.
All those various questions. Think about and report.
Feel free to comment on our YouTube video or on our blog at toobadpagans.blogspot.com, where you can listen to our episode there or in iTunes. Feel free and send us an email. How do people get in contact with you, Lindsay?
Well, I am on Twitter, and I am on Facebook, and I am on Sue.com. I'm on like every social networking site that you can possibly think of, except for Tumblr.
Or Instagram?
No, I'm on Instagram.
Okay.
I don't really use it that often because I don't have a phone that really takes good pictures and uploads. But yeah, I'm on Instagram. I just don't really do the Tumblr thing. I don't get it. It's basically a blog, and I already have a blog, so I don't need to. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to follow me on those sites, awesome, that'd be great. Mostly the best way to get hold of me is either through email. I check my email all the time, or you can follow my vlog on YouTube. Just find Lindsay Mead on YouTube, and I post a video almost every single day. Occasionally I miss one, but it's a daily vlog about things going on in my life. It varies from health stuff to witchcraft to writing stuff, whatever is going on in my life and things like that. And you'll get to see Nick quite a bit. People love seeing Nick on there.
Apparently.
But that's the best way to find me, and I'd appreciate you guys coming over there and subscribing and sharing and saying hi and all that stuff.
Really good stuff. And you can find links to that all at our blog spot. There's a little page of Lindsay's links. It says about Lindsay.
There's links everywhere. If you go to our blog spot, there's links for both Nick and I on there. If you go to our YouTube page, there's links to all that stuff on there as well. We are everywhere.
We are everywhere. Interact with us.
Yes. How do they get a hold of you?
Feel free and leave a comment. Send an email to twobadpaganspodcast@gmail.com. I am the primary one who reads and responds there. So, feel free. And if you want to shoot me a message, feel free to. You can also get a link to my blog over at our blogspot.
Yes.
Where I do some blogging about stuff in my life. And it's good.
Yes, he does do that.
I do.
I need to subscribe to your blog. I wanted to ask you that like a week ago, and I completely forgot. I assumed you didn't tell me where it was because you didn't want me to read it, but I would like to read it, whether you want me to or not.
There are links to it on our Too Bad Pagans blogspot page under the About Nick column. There's,
that shows how observant I am.
Well, when we set up the page, it was kind of like, Nick, go set up this portion, and I'll set up my portion, and,
Call it good.
Yeah, we'll just call it good. So I haven't really updated this time. But feel free and go check me out. I think the blog is called Just Elevator Music.
Oh, that's cute.
.blogspot.com. Because I was trying to think of really quick. We're kind of over an hour, but really quick. I was trying to think of different blog names, and I was like, well, I just kind of want to write. Like that little music that's in your ear, like elevator music. And
I just want to be Muzak. That's all.
Muzak. So if you want to read me and just be that little extra thought in your life, feel free.
Oh, that's cute.
It is cute.
All right. Well, that was a good podcast.
It was a good podcast.
Feeling good.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to emails and stuff.
Yeah. And feel free when you email us, if you want us to talk about you on the show, feel free and say, hey, you can use this on the podcast. We would appreciate it.
Yeah, it is helpful if you say right up front, it's okay to bring this up.
Yeah.
I mean, we might bring it up anyway if you don't, but it just makes us feel better if we have your permission right up front.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next month. I'm Nicholas.
And I'm Lindsay Mead.
And you're listening to Too Bad Pagans.
Bye.
Bye.